Hi guys, I'm going to explain you my sixth experiment in web technology lab, which is on JavaScript-Timer functions and objects. So this is my first question. I have to create a JavaScript code to display the digital clock. So I'll be using a user-defined function, and I'll be calling this function in every 1 second. So inside the function, I'll be using the time variable using the date function, and I'll be calling the get hours and get minutes and get second using this variable. And I have to call the time display function for every 1 second. So for this I'll be using the time interval. Inside this I'll be calling the display function in 1000 millisecond means 1 second. So let's see how it works. This is my code. It is given inside the script function. So this is my user defined function display. I'm creating the variable as told you before. I'm concatenating it to display the clock, like d.get hours plus d.get minute and so on. I'll be displaying it in every 1 second. For this I'll be using a set interval. Inside a set interval I'll be calling this display function in 1 second. Moving to the next question, we have to create a JavaScript code to change the background color for every 30 seconds. So for this also I have to define a function, then I have to call the function. So I will be defining the function using the RGB, creating a variable for red, blue and green, and finally concatenating it through creating a different variable called color. So I'll be using here math.for function, inside which I'll be using a random function also, which is multiplied by 255. And here I'll be using get element by tag name, since I am implementing on the body. So get element by tag name, it is implemented on this body tag, and 0 is the index, dot style is equal to background color plus color. So this color keeps on changing on this here. This will be the required output. Here also we use the same function set interval, and this is my function comma the time interval, and this is the output. Now moving to the third question, you have to create an event handlers that will increase the font size when the mouse moves over a paragraph and decrease the size when the mouse moves off the paragraph. So when the mouse moves in, the cursor should zoom in, the paragraph should zoom in as here. So you can see here it's zooming in, and after when it released, size is decreased again. Let's see the codes for it. Okay, so these are the two functions, one to increase the font and one to decrease the font to its original size. So I'll be using it here. I have a common ID like para1. I'll be using it for each for increase and this one for decreasing it. So for increasing I'll be set as 50 pixel greater than the previous one, and this one is ori means the original one, setting it to the original one. So this I'll be using through get element by id dot style dot font size, and on mouse over this function will be increased, and on mouse out decrement size will be called. So now this is my fourth question. I have to create a moving object when a user clicks two buttons like start and stop, as I show you in the demo. So I click on start function, start button, a function called some start function will be called, through which this car moves, and if I click on stop button, the car stops and comes to the initial position as shown here. So now moving to the code. These are the two buttons which I am creating it. On click move right. So on clicking move right function is called, and for this one stop function is called. So I'm setting the position of this object as relative, and I'm using document.get element by id of this image, which is initialized as null. And these are the two functions which I'll be using. First of all, I'll be using it to parse int and moving to the next position, so I'll be using as +10. And then for animation, I'll be using set timeout will be used, and this returns a value which will be stored in animate variable. For stop function, similarly we have a clear timeout function, inside which I have the animate, which is given inside the parenthesis as an argument. So when the vehicle is stopped, we can see it's 0 pixel. It comes to the initial position. The contrary, we have moving right function, means when the vehicle moves, it is moved by 10 pixels towards the right. So that's all for the fourth one. Now moving to the last question, I have to create an array of objects and then iterate through an array and then display for each book my book title and book author, like book title by author name, using the if-else categorize statement to categorize the books that are published before 1980s and 1980s, before and after 1980s. So first of all, I'll be creating my array as shown in the demo here, and then I iterate through the for loop and then access through my object name, and this is my index dot property 1. So this is my code. This is my array, inside which I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 objects, each of which I have title, author and year. And now this is used to iterate. While loop is used, and inside this while loop I'll be using the if-else statement to check whether the book is published before 1980, and it displays the book. And this one displays the book which is published after 1980s. Each of these can be used using the same function like document.get element by id, using the id as b, using the id b in this category, and using a as this else statement, and displaying it through a dot in HTML as, and incrementing is books of I dot HTML. This is the output. At last we finally increment this I, so that it keeps on changing from book A to book C, book E. Thank you for watching my video.